And we are live. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome for another episode of the Puppet Podcast. Yay, here we are. And we have Joe. Joe, I see you. Hi, Joe. Feel free in the podcast to chat with me, with my guests. If you have any question, I'm so happy. We are at episode 67. So yeah, that's so cool. We connect with many people all around India, Philippines, and America, and all over. So it's really cool. And before we go in the interview, as I always say, I want to let you know how it goes in the Puppet Podcast world. So we have kind of good connection as we are oriented towards promotion. You saw us all over, like we go into multiple channel and groups and stuff. So if you are interested on promotion, how to promote yourself or make your stuff out there and have more eyes towards you, not just for having likes and superficially having some audience. It's just because people need artists. They need you. They need to see our content. So we want to promote whatever you have to promote because it's so cool. So I want to share with you my screen and show you our Patreon, because a lot of stuff happen on Patreon right now, because it's the platform where we can live off what we say we do, and we have a position over there, and we can discuss about our motto and everything. So here is the tiers, but here you see it's a sold out coaching call, one-on-one with Ellie, who is the marketing genius behind the podcast. And over there we open another tier to have other coaching. So sometimes, as artists, we need to trust ourselves. We need to be really confident about should I post this photo? What I want to promote of myself? So it's really important to sometimes have a little push or someone encourage you. Yeah, this is nice. I want to see more of your face with your puppet. I want to see more of your smile. How you can create more on those channels. And I've Ellie helps me a lot to do this podcast, and also doing in my own career some tips on promotion. So I think it's really key to promote ourselves, and that's why we open this tips to help you. And we have tricks about promotion and Instagram and strategy. And so it's part of the job. But as we are interested into puppetry, I get the chance to connect with ventriloquists. You maybe see many ventriloquists that I interviewed, and we have the wonderful Kristen Barger, who will talk about her heart. So let me bring her in the screen. Da-da-dam!
Hello!
Yay! Thank you for joining us in the Puppet Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yay! I was so happy when I saw all of your social media, because that was just, I said, you are out there, Christine. You promote, you put stuff, content. So it's so cool. And I want you to introduce yourself for the community who are watching right now about you and puppetry.
Hey, everybody. I'm Kristen Barger. I am a ventriloquist. I've been doing ventriloquism since I was 5 years old. So a few years. I'm also a TikToker. You can find me on TikTok and on Twitter and on Facebook and on Zin and on Likey, and there's a lot of places at Kristen Barger, and on Instagram at Kristen Barger Official, because I didn't get my actual handle on Instagram. I actually didn't think Instagram was gonna blow up, so it wasn't a platform I jumped on. And then it did, and I was like, I missed my name. So now I jump on every platform as soon as I hear about Byte. I was in beta for Byte. All of these different platforms reach out to me. They're like, we're beta testing. I'm like, I want in. I want my name, because you never know what's going to be the next thing to blow up. I'm also an actress, and I'm not sure if I'm technically allowed to announce this yet. So little secret between everybody here. I will be hopefully this month or next month be in season 2 of the Fuse show, That White People Stuff. That's not the actual name. The actual name is a little adult for the show, but so you can keep an eye on that. But if you like magic, I also do magic. You can see me on Penn and Teller Fool Us, one of the previous seasons. Also on my YouTube channel. Also have YouTube. See, I have all the places.
Yay! That's the way to do it in our actual time, specifically, because we need to be out there, as I said, and you do it really with a lot of intelligence and an amazing way. And we have Leonardo say, "Yeah!" like.
Well, thank
Jerry,
you.
yeah, and Jerry said that he see your mouth move.
Oh yes, my mouth is moving right now. But when I have puppets on, maybe at the end, you might get to see one of my friends. Then my mouth won't move.
Yeah, that's so key in this, eh? So yeah, I'm always impressed with ventriloquist because it's a way of writing stuff on puppetry, like the relation over there and all of those. I think as I interview more and more people, I feel I see like some of the tricks of like the how you send the ball to the puppet and the puppet send you the ball, like how you interact, and it's so cool. Do you have like a specific influence in ventriloquism?
I actually was self-taught, and I didn't know ventriloquism was a skill.
Oh,
so when I started doing ventriloquism, I did it basically as a way to kind of prove to this other little kid that my stuffed animals really talked, because we lived at the Ronald McDonald House. My brother was at the hospital, and this other kid at the Ronald McDonald House had a Gizmo doll, and they would hold it up to their ear and say, "Gizmo doesn't like you. Gizmo won't talk to you." And I was like, "Well, Gizmo's not really talking to you. You're lying." So I got my teddy bear to talk out loud where everyone could hear, except to that one. I'm like, "Bear won't talk to you. He doesn't like you." But you could hear him talk to everybody else out loud. So that's where it started for me. I didn't know that like there were people with puppets that talked. Like I didn't realize that Sherry Lewis and that, like I was so young. Like I had no idea. And then when I got a little older in elementary school, we had a ventriloquist come to the school, and I was like, "That's so cool." And honestly, I was a bit bummed because I tried to tell her I could do that too, and she was like, "Yeah." You know how people get when like kids tell you like, "I can do this," and they're like, "Yeah, good for you. I know you can." Like, but they don't believe you. And so I like wanted it to be my goal. Like I would never do that to a kid. So now if I do a show and a kid comes up to me, if an adult does it, usually I'll like try to have an adult conversation. But like if a kid comes up and they're like, "I can do that too," I'm like, "Okay, show me." Like I try to like, I don't care if I'm in the middle. It's like I try very hard to give them the focus and the attention, because I know how it feels to be brushed off on something that's really important to you. And so I'm like, "Show me." It's hard though, because sometimes you're like I now understand how the adults feel of like, "Yeah, I know you can." But like you're like, "No, I want to see." So in that sense, like I've had influences of things like that. I met Jeff Dunham at the ventriloquist convention after I competed my first time internationally. And I didn't place. I was really upset. I had done Christian material at a non-Christian event, which I didn't know was like a thing, because I had always done Christian material as a kid. And so I was pretty heartbroken that I didn't place, and I was kind of ready to give up ventriloquism. I thought I must not be very good. I didn't place in this competition, and people who won, I saw them, and okay, I must not be good because I couldn't win. And so I was ready to give up. Like that day, I was done. I was like, I'm terrible at this. I'm done. And Jeff Dunham saw me in the dealer's room of the convention, and he was like, "You're really talented. Keep it up." And I was like, "I don't suck at this." So then I was like, "I'm gonna keep going." And then I went the next year to a different competition for Christian ventriloquists, and I won the international championship. So he was a good inspiration in that moment. Like he was a really big like motivator of like, I looked up to him. As an adult, I don't always agree with his humor, but as a kid, like he was someone that I really like. I was like, he was really inspiring, and he was very successful. And I didn't know ventriloquists could be successful unless they got their own kids show, because that was the only thing I thought of ventriloquists. They either had a kids show, or I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
And then there was Jeff Dunham, who was like this comedian that was successful doing it. So
Yes. So, yay, that's good to know some influence. And we have our Philippine ventriloquists who are watching right now. So it's Wanlu. Hi, Wanlu. Yeah.
hello.
So yeah, and I just read the comments. Sometimes it's really interesting. Yeah, again.
I commented earlier.
Yeah.
I said hi to Joe in the comments.
Yeah, so if you don't have time to answer you, we will go after for sure. And are you ready, Kristen, for the deep question of the puppet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do this.
Yeah, so the first one is the why. What makes the art of puppetry an art that you cherish?
For me, it was a coping mechanism because of what was going on with my brother being in the hospital. He passed away when he was 3, and my puppets were there for me. The art of ventriloquism was there for me to help other people, and it was an outlet for me to feel useful in helping other people cope with the bad things in their life, loss of loved ones and things. I did a Shriners grief camp for kids who'd lost their parents or brothers and sisters. And I realized I could make a difference in the world. And so for me, the art of puppetry and ventriloquism is so important because it gives me an outlet for helping other people, and it gives me a real purpose. I mean, entertainment in general does that too, but how I started was through puppets.
Yes, and it's a philanthropic. You love human, and you help them with your art. So that's really cool. And I want to know maybe a moment, you have an anecdote about a specific crush that you feel you get like this crush for puppetry or for a puppet or for the art.
I mean, when I was a kid, I wrote Sesame Street asking to be on Sesame Street. Like, I lived in Indiana in the middle of nowhere, like cornfields, and I was like, I want to be on Sesame Street. I'd be really good. I'm good with puppets. So I wrote them and I asked if I could be on the show. And Big Bird sent me an autograph picture. So on one hand, I was really bummed because I wasn't going to be on Sesame Street. But on the other hand, I have an autograph picture from Big Bird framed on my wall in my childhood bedroom to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like, I don't know. I've also watched the documentary on Big Bird, and I find that he's fascinating.
Yes,
So.
yes. For the one who haven't seen it, watch that. It's so fascinating. He's doing with his job with a lot of devotion, so it's really, really key.
Also, I'm fascinated by the Labyrinth. Oh, yes. I had like a mad crush on David Bowie, who was just like hanging out with puppets all the time. I was like, I could like marry David Bowie and the Goblin King and just live with puppets. It would be like the best world ever. But I as an adult, I'm still fascinated by the ones that do their hands. So they're like the things with, I don't know how they do it. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
When she's going down the tunnel and all the hands are talking.
Yeah.
But they make their hands into puppets. Like, I'm just like, wow, that's some skill.
Yeah, people have a lot of talent in this field, so it's really wow. And and as we talk about skills, I want to know your opinion about the field of study. What would be the best field of study for someone who wants to become a puppeteer or a ventriloquism?
So I think both puppeteering and ventriloquism have a strong foundation in acting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you decide you're going to pursue a career in puppetry or ventriloquism and you decide you want to go to college first, then I would say major in acting, maybe in social skills or social studies or some sort of like history. So you want to have an education so that way you're just well-rounded. Mm-hmm. But also I think theater is a really important skill because then you learn how to express yourself. Mm-hmm. You learn how to make emotion. And if you know how to do that in yourself, then it's easier to bring that out through your puppet. If you don't know how to do it for yourself, how are you going to make a puppet do it? Like, how do you make a puppet sad if you don't know what it means to feel sad in a situation where you're pretending? Honestly, I don't know if you really want to be like a Henson puppeteer or you want to be a professional ventriloquist. I don't know if college is necessary. You could go straight out of high school, and I'm not a person who's like, don't go to college. Like, you should go to college if you can, but it's not like it's really going to be like, no one's looking at your resume going, what college did you go to before they put you on a comedy club stage? Or what college did you go to before they hand you a puppet and say, here, be a Henson puppeteer? Like, you could go to classes specifically for that in cities like Los Angeles and New York, and you can learn very specific skills based around puppeteering. And you could do that out of high school. So yeah, on one hand, college is important. Go to college, have a backup plan. On the other hand, you may not necessarily ever fall back on your college career, your college education in the field of study. Like, I don't necessarily go, man, that acting class I took my sophomore year, I'm pulling those skills out right now. Like, I'm sure that it helped influence it, but it's not necessary in this type of career. In entertainment specifically, it's not always necessary.
And it's a good viewpoint. It's funny to put it in good perspective instead of saying everything. But you never know, as you said, you never know when you need maybe the little skills of acting and there.
Also with entertainment, especially in a city like Los Angeles where I am, the younger you are, the better chance you have of success as you get older. In every other career in the world, I think being older and more mature is beneficial. But in entertainment, it's not always the most beneficial. Like, if you're going to break into entertainment and puppeteering in a place like Hollywood, I would say give it a shot while you're young, and then maybe go back to college if it's not your calling after all, and become a nurse or something else.
That's interesting, because it's something specific about show business particularly. And I don't know why I thought of Britney Spears, but young is good. Young, to be young and
young is good. And because depending on the type of puppeteering you're doing, if you're doing a motion where your hand's above your head all the time, as you get older, you start feeling it in your shoulder and your wrist, and you get carpal tunnel, and these things happen to your body that you don't always notice when you're like 20.
Yeah, true.
So it is a skill that, like, it does take some physical fitness depending on the type of puppeteering you're doing.
Yeah, totally. So let's be in shape, everyone.
Exactly. Go to a gym. Get a gym membership. That's what you need to do. Do all of these motions, all of those pull-ups and push-ups and things.
Let's do it. I want also to know if you have your own definition of a puppet, because we sometimes explain our job to families and kids, but how you explain, like, the definition of the object, puppet?
I mean, a puppet is any object, and not even an object. Like I was saying in the Labyrinth, they literally just use their hands as puppets. But it's any sort of thing that you use to assist in storytelling, where it is its own personality, its own character. So it's an inanimate object that you bring life to, that helps you tell the story that you're trying to tell. Generally, when I think of a puppet, I think of like a hand puppet or a dummy, like a wooden dummy or a marionette. But I don't think that's necessarily the only thing a puppet is. A puppet could be just my hand. I have eyes. I can't believe I don't have any right in front of me. I have eyes all over my my apartment, but I have these little eyes that I slip on that are like a ring, and like it's a puppet. Like it doesn't have to have anything.
Yes. And I love when people talk about the character, the fact that you bring a character as something who have like a characteristic of something specific. It's so key in this. I want also to know, what do you see in the future for puppetry? Like, where would be the art of puppetry in 10 years?
I think things are going much more animatronic.
Mm-mm-mm.
And that's not that that's not a puppet as well, because the animatronics are also run by puppeteers, just in a
Yeah.
different fashion. But I think a lot of things as we move forward, um, a lot of things can become more like robotic puppets,
Mhm.
because they're so lifelike now. I mean, I've seen people build some creatures and they're puppets, and they're maybe using their hand to move the mouth, but the eyes and everything else, it's all being controlled by somebody on like a little remote. And I'm just like, it looks like it's so real. Like, that's a real gorilla, or that's a real whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like a person in a suit running the mouth. Everything else is animated. um it's fascinating what we can do with technology, thinking back to what puppets started as.
Yeah.
I don't think that hand puppets and sock puppets and things will go away. I just think that as we keep going, things get more and more advanced,
Yes.
because we have technology, and they'll get more advanced with technology.
Yes. And as you are streaming on many platforms, I want to hear you also on that aspect of the job. Like, what do you feel about like how we will meet the audience in puppetry in 10 years? Or oh, the headphones die. Oh, I don't hear you. Maybe what did unmute. I think you need to.
Muted. There, I'm better.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Maybe we will
Okay.
hear a little.
Sorry about that. My headphones have got a mind of their own. Technology. They were like, she's talking about technology. Let's stop working.
Yeah, the question was about how we will meet or hear the audience.
But you were asking about the future of what we can do as far as the art goes, right?
Yeah, or I was like, as you are also streaming on many platforms, I want to know your viewpoint in the future about how we will meet the audience, how we will, like, how puppetry will evaluate on connecting with the public.
So what's really great about platforms like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram is that there is this kind of direct community that you are establishing your community, and you're communicating with your community, and you've become like a family. And I love that. I love that, like, I can bring a puppet out and my family, my extended internet family, knows all about the history of that puppet by the point that, like, most of the time they're talking. They're like, Stunkles is here. Oh, we're going to get you some garlic pizza, because they know that's his favorite food. Like, it's really cool to have that interaction. I don't know if it's going to go, like, live shows are going to go away. It's weird because right now we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's 2020. It's the weirdest year ever. And I've got friends who were like, I'm going to do live shows. I was like, okay, let me know how that goes. And I've had requests from people locally, and in LA, we're not allowed to go anywhere without a mask. It's not like we could go and not wear a mask. Like, we have to wear a mask. It's like the law. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. You're asking me to come do ventriloquism, and I have to wear a mask. The show is going to be different than what you think it is. I think this is a bad decision. Let's do it on Zoom. And there's this ability now to, like, stay home and perform your live shows. Like, they're still live shows, but they're not your in-person live shows. So it's weird. It's a weird world that we're in right now. I don't know how it's going to affect the future. I'm hoping 10 years from now, we will, like, have a distant memory of that one year where we didn't leave and we stayed safe at home, and, like, it won't be affecting the future, but it might affect how live shows are done.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about live shows is that they have those big, like, they didn't used to, many, many years ago, they didn't have the technology, but we have the technology to have these big monitors behind us. So, like, when I did the international championship in, like, 99, there was a camera zoomed in on my face, and my face was huge behind me, so people could see my lip control, because it was a competition for ventriloquists specifically, and they wanted to see if I moved my mouth. And that idea that, you've got your big face behind you, so the whole audience, thousands of people far away in the back can see, and they don't have to be close up. Because I used to think, like, it's not effective to do ventriloquism for large audiences. How are they going to get the experience if they can't see your face? But with all the technology, you can do huge amphitheaters and people can still see you. So it's interesting to think of like how that technology combined with the internet and the way that we're doing things now. I mean, who knows? Maybe there'll be little holograms of us popping up in people's rooms and we won't have to go anywhere. And we'll just sit in front, sit at home in front of our green screen with the puppets and people are watching from their bedroom or their living room all around the world. And there's a hologram of you in their room. Like, who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, but it's
technology goes so fast because like I think about it and I'm like, when I was a kid, we didn't have the things that I take for granted today as an adult.
Yeah.
So who knows 10 years from now what the technology will be. Maybe people will be like clicking the watch and there'll be like a little hologram of me, like they can just watch from their watch or something.
Yeah. Hey, I watched Kristen.
Hopefully TikTok is still here. It doesn't go the way of MySpace.
Yeah. That's so cool. And you have a lot of positivity towards the future. I think it's great that we put it out there.
We have to have positivity because it's a hard time right now in the present. So if we don't have anything positive to think forward.
Yeah.
I know.
And I want to know your like biggest purpose you see for the future, for you, your career, your cat.
My cats. My cats also have Instagram if you want to see who's meowing. Bagheera fun. Yeah, they have TikTok too. She's screaming outside the door. She's not coming in. I would like to ultimately I want to have my own sitcom. Whether it includes a lot of ventriloquism or not, I don't know. I love making people laugh. And as I've grown in my career, I love ventriloquism. I love puppets, but I also really love acting. Yeah. And I've tried to write my own pilot and thing where I've been like, it's this ventriloquist and she's got this dummy and they live together with roommates and like, kind of like soap or something. And like I've tried to come up with ideas. I've written my own kids show before. Like I've really like I want to be on television. I want to have a series where I go to work every day. Ideally, I don't want to write it myself because I don't love writing. Like I write comedy pretty much every day now because of the social media. But Gira, my goodness, honey, everybody knows you're there. It doesn't stop. She's relentless. She's passionate about cuddles. That's what it is. She takes after mom. She's passionate about something. She just follows through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to have my own show. Ultimately, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. I wish you that for sure. It's really, and with all your talent in multiple area, why not doing multidisciplinary sitcom or soap or whatever? I see it. Yeah. And I want for the end, I always ask the person, so maybe you have a guess. Maybe it could be the cat, but a guess.
I think the husband took the cat to the other room. I heard a shh, Bagheera, and then she got distantly like she did distant voice and went on away.
Yeah, but if you have a puppet you want to bring in front of the screen, and it's really a tiny screen, so maybe you're
Stonkles. Here, let's scoot back a little bit. I have room to scooch.
Yeah. Oh.
Hello! Oh, wait, it's so confusing. It's backwards. Yeah, it's a little backwards for us.
It's a monitor, like, TV stuff. Hey!
Oh, the skunk.
Yeah. You're not a smelly skunk, eh?
No, I'm descended. That's what I said. Okay. Uncles is descended. He is originally adopted from Axtel Expressions. If you're familiar with Axtel Expression,
yeah, I get.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, could you say it's your father or your grandfather or how? What do you say?
I mean, he's kind of my dad.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know anything about it, but yeah.
Yeah, he was in episode 65. If I remember right. So Yeah, so yeah, Axel have a lot of talent, as we can see, and we have people who are clapping on the comments. So.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yay! And do you are you what is his name, just to make sure?
Stunkles.
Stunkles.
Yeah.
So Stunkle, are you worried sometime about like the time right now and the animal condition?
The animal condition.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the animals? The animals are okay. I mean, I'm okay. I live here in the apartment with the cats. Like sometimes I babysit them when she goes, traveling and stuff. Although you haven't gone anywhere in forever. I know, I haven't gone anywhere in forever.
Yeah, but
cats for me.
Yeah, but I was thinking with the climate change and all of that.
The fires and stuff. Oh yeah, that's scary. There's a lot of fires here in Los Angeles, and the animals. Oh, they're running away. They're trying to get away from the fires, and the people are worried about the cats and the dogs. Yeah, they are. They're worried a little bit about their cats and their dogs. One time, when we lived up in hills by the fire, do you remember what came down to our swimming pool? Oh, the bobcat. There was a bobcat in our swimming pool. Maybe it was a mountain lion. I don't know. It was big and it was a cat. And it was locked in our pool. Yeah, it was locked in her pool area. And so I ran out and I unhooked the gate and I threw it open and ran. Because I was afraid it was going to come after me. That was because of fires. Because there's so many fires from all the climate change and the bad stuff. And everybody's not taking care of the earth. They need to take care of the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a statement. And I want to know also, you do stand-up comedy with Christine. How is Christine?
Oh, she's okay. I do knock-knock jokes. I don't go to the clubs. I'm not old enough. You've been to the Magic Castle and you're not old enough to go there. Yeah, that's different. Sometimes I go to the Magic Castle with her. But I mostly do like knock-knock jokes, and I don't know. She does more adult comedy, but I don't listen to that. I do some adult comedy at the clubs. It's true. I don't do a lot of clubs anymore. I actually don't like that scene because it's a rough scene. You have to be up late at night, and now that I'm married and have 2 cats, I like to be home at night with my family. And me and you, yes. You can come in then because you'll heal. Yes. There's no clubs right now anyway. No, everybody's closed.
Yes, everybody's closed. But you go into TikTok?
I do TikTok. I love TikTok. There's so many people on the TikTok, and there's so many friends there. I had lots of friends on the TikTok. I had Toilet, the toilet paper. He's on TikTok. And I love all the TikTokers. Yes. And Devon, today's his birthday. Devon the Muse. Yeah, it's his birthday. It's his birthday. I know. He's a TikToker. So many TikTokers.
I love the statement on TikTok. It's really
how many people follow us on TikTok? Oh, I don't know. Almost 1 million. Not quite 1 million. How many? 700,000? Yeah, a little over 700,000. Yeah, lots of family there. All my family.
It's a big family.
Big TikTok family.
Yeah. So cool, Kristen, and wonderful, Skunk. It's so cool to have you and have your viewpoint on puppetry and your reality over there. I think it's helping everyone to be connected together.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yay! Yeah, thank you so much. And stay in the virtual studio. We will chat right after.
Okay. Thanks everybody for being here and watching.
Yay! I love that. So fun. Yeah, so you have to follow Kristen on TikTok. Go and watch all her social media, as she said, and it's wonderful. So everyone, thank you so much for watching, and feel free to share this interview and put it out there. And also, you know how it works. You have a look on the Patreon. You're curious about Christine. So that's the purpose of it, to connect and to promote puppetry with a lot of intelligence. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. So next week we have another episode of the Puppet Podcast. So stay tuned. And yeah, we will have this little jingle who's coming that we build about what we do. So bye, everyone. Have a good evening and see you soon.